MX0WNN.
Good evening, this is Mike Zero, Uniform Kilo Bravo. Operator name is Bruce and I shall be the host for the Wednesday Night Net. So firstly, thank you all for everybody for tuning in and connecting up and joining in hopefully. Though, before we get started on the net proper, we shall ask, is there any emergency or priority traffic? If so, please come now. Okay, nice long pause and no emergency or priority traffic heard, so we'll assume that there is none, in which case we shall continue. Okay, if there is any emergency traffic at any point in time during the net, please call break and we'll do our very best to assist. Okay, at this point I shall convert from my personal call of M0UKB to the club call sign of MX0WNN. That's Mike X-Ray 0 Wednesday Night Net. So, thank you, as I said, for taking part and joining in. Do appreciate it. We are using NetLogger, so you can follow along at home. You can use the blue screen. We'll have it open, etc. I'm just opening it now. The almost instant messaging window, as they call it. Also, please, repeaters and gateways are set for a 3-minute timeout. So if you're going to have a long over, that's absolutely fine. But please take a pause before you hit the magic 3 minutes. And also, when taking a pause or between overs, please leave a good 3 to 5 seconds. It just allows everything to have a little breather and reset and sort its digital life out, as we say. And the final one, just for your audio pleasure, shall we call it, is leave a good second between keying up and actually talking. It just means that everything that you say is heard by all, and we don't miss the front end of a call sign or a sentence or whatever it is. It might have some bearing and change the quality of what one has to say. I shall just take a pause. Okay, MX0WNN continuing. Okay, finally, I suppose, a topic as we normally have for a Wednesday Night Net. It's a pleasure to be back home, and that got me thinking, having had my little stay in America and experiencing different bits of culture and one thing or another. And I'm not going to say anything was good or bad. Things are just different where you travel around the world. So it got me thinking about customer service. Have you had good or bad customer service in relation to amateur radio? You know, any particular places that went above and beyond to help out? Were there any that were particularly not so good, shall we say? You know, what's the differences in sort of the appreciation of people in general? It's an interesting one. Traveling around the world, you see all sorts of different bits and pieces, and you think, ooh. Maybe we do that better back home, and maybe where I am at the moment does it better than what we do back home. So, interesting one. There you go, and maybe if you've been a traveller, you might have some stuff that you can share, just sort of little differences, should we say, that you've experienced yourself. Okay, as I say, we are using NetLogger, so you can follow along at home, and also we do need to get some names, call signs and locations, etc. in the log. So if you'd be so kind as to come slowly, phonetically and twice, with your name, call sign and location, that will be absolutely superb, and we can get you in the log. So let's start building a list. This is MX0WNN, looking for some check-ins, please. Please come now.
Victor Echo 6, Delta Charlie Victor. Victor Echo 6, Delta Charlie Victor. Dave in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Golf 7, Oscar Charlie Kilo. 7, Oscar Charlie Kilo. Brian in the land of the Prince Bishops.
Mike 0 Romeo Romeo Foxtrot. Mike 0 Romeo Romeo Foxtrot. Ian in Crook in County Durham.
WA8JON Whiskey Alpha 8 Juliet Oscar November John, Troy, Ohio, USA.
Okay, NET recognises the following stations in reverse order. We've got WA8JON, Jonathan in Troy, Ohio. Good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Net. And we've got M0RRF. That's Ian over there in County Durham. Also staying with the County Durham theme, we've got Brian. That's G7OCK. And then top of the list, we've got Victor Echo 6, Delta Charlie Victor. That's Dave, all the way from Calgary. I'll just ask, is there anybody else that would like to join in, or that I may have missed? If so, you know what to do. Please come now. Okay, no problem. This is MX0WNN returning. Right, we shall start at the top. And we're going to go to Dave. Good evening, Dave. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, all about sort of being nice and being friendly and, you know, customer service and, you know, maybe someone who's gone the extra mile to explain something, or maybe you had a return or something like that where somebody was really helpful. I don't know. Anything like that, that sort of thing. I suppose... and then also cultural differences, let's call them. If you're aware of any that go between, you know, particularly in the sort of customer service side of things. We all spend a load of money on our hobby, so it's nice when somebody does something nice and good, should we say. So, Dave, VE6DCV, it's over to you. And also, how the devil are you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well. From MX0WNN.
Victor Echo 6, Delta Charlie Victor returning. I'm just doing just fine. Beautiful sunny day here in Calgary. Oh boy, customer service and what have you. Haven't had too much trouble per se, nor do I travel very far, so I can't speak on when one's traveling about. But, you know, in around the world, there's certainly different spots. And of course, in amateur radio, I've had nothing but good luck. I've been through few spots, and I always want to talk to you or whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Other than that, hanging around here. A little bit past lunchtime, but I was taken care of. So there you go. They want to enjoy some nice weather. Of course, the winds are up today, but that's all right. No complaints on my end. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass it back to that control. It's good to be on here, as I sometimes over at our local radio club. So I thought I'd at least check into this one here this afternoon, or certainly evening for you guys. Back to net.
Good afternoon from MX0WNN. Well, thank you, Dave, for coming on by. And yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. It's nice to be back. I think I might get 4 weeks back before I go away again. But no, it always one of the things that always strikes me when I go across the pond to the US is the culture of tipping, shall we say. That always gets me because in England it's a different culture. I wouldn't say we never tip, but we don't tip as often as you do in the US, shall we say. I know you're in Canada, and I wonder what it's like in Canada actually. Is it the same tipping culture as it is in the US, where you're expected to sort of tip whenever you go out for a coffee or a meal or anything like that? Or is it more like the UK, where tipping is reserved strictly for, shall we say, exceptional service, when somebody really has gone above and beyond? I don't know. It's one that always catches me out. Now, one of the things, I've never tipped when I've gone out for like not a meal, if that makes sense. You know, I don't know whether tipping exists in other shops. Like, would you, if you gone and got good service from somebody in a you know, amateur radio store, or you gone and bought a washing machine or a tumble dryer, would you tip? I don't know. Interesting one there. Or would it be frowned upon? I don't know. Dave, pass it back to you to hear what it's like in Canada before we go any further. VE6DCV from MX0WNN.
VE6DCV returning. Yeah, well, typically I'd say it's about the same as the U.S. I mean, you can tip here, tip there. You know, you go to the hairstylist. Well, of course, you tip there. Of course, my wife, Heather, she believes in tipping where you can, where it is appropriate. But yeah, most anywhere you go, there's a tip button now. You know, tip here and there, but yeah, you know, maybe there you go. And it was just said maybe she should accept tips. I don't know. There you go. Who knows? Yeah, I think it sounds about the same as around here. So I'll pass it back to net control.
MX0WNN returning. Right, no problem at all. Well, maybe we should institute tipping for net controllers. He says with a joke going. But yeah, no problem at all. And always nice. I'm going to gain some experience for my next set of travels there, Dave, and know how not to make a social faux pas, shall we call it. If nothing else, it's going to be informative. Okay then, Dave. Well, I appreciate your going to the radio club today. I hope you have a great time and enjoy yourself, and yeah, I hope everything goes well. So, Dave, you take care. We shall mosey on down the list, and we'll come back across the pond where we find our good friend Brian. That's G7OCK. Good evening, Brian. I hope you're doing well. What we're talking about, you know, exceptional service, good, you know, people who've gone that extra mile, etc. Bits and pieces like that. Yeah. What have you found in the world of amateur radio? Anything else you wish to share also? How are you doing, sir? G7OCK from MX0WNN.
Yeah, Roger on that, Bruce, and good evening to everybody else that's on the net, and good afternoon to some of our friends over the water. Yeah, service. Well, as far as amateur radio is concerned, majority of the time the service has been good to excellent. I don't think I've had any major problems as far as service is concerned. One or two bits and pieces that haven't been up to par when they've been delivered, and then being sorted out by the retailer as such. But as far as service is concerned, good to excellent, and certainly excellent with a local radio store that is fairly close to where I live, run by a couple of amateur radio operators as well, which helps, and always made very, very welcome, and it's exceptional service in there, one way or the other, from Golf 7 Oscar Charlie Kilo.
G7OCK from MX0WNN. Yeah, I know what you mean now. Interesting, you've hit on one there. Sometimes the poor retailer in this day and age, of the modern internet stroke distance selling day and age, the poor retailers often get let down by the people that treat the parcels like footballs, shall we say. There are good carriers and there are not so good carriers, shall we say. And I know there's a few times when I've bought an excellent product, but shall we say the service or speed of delivery has not been up to par. And I'm not going to say it's always down to the carrier, but more often than not it's down to the carrier rather than the retailer. And I feel sorry sometimes because the poor retailers end up getting slightly irate customers on the phone for something that really isn't their fault, and that they have, I wouldn't say absolutely no control because they could choose a different carrier, but shall we say very little control of, shall we say. Yeah, so I have to feel sorry. And I know the Emporium you're talking about. I believe it's the one that is to do with components and canniness, shall we say there. Let's give him a shout out if I'm correct. Over to you there, Brian. G70CK.
Yeah, Roger Bruce, you are on the right tracks. So I don't contravene the anti-advertising laws as far as my radio license is concerned, so we'll just call it the Mandarin Daves, and they look after people very, very well. Certainly look after every amateur that I can think of that actually has anything to do with the store, certainly over the COVID epidemic, shall we say, to the point where we used to go around and do a lot of hand delivery, so it does make, shall we say, customer service over and above. We'll put it that way. And yeah, they are very, very good for helping everybody and being as helpful as they can be. But definitely good service of them. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean about couriers. I only hope that the courier we're employed at the present moment in time looks after certain bits and pieces that he's carrying, shall we say, and we'll see what happens. See whether he gets good service marks or not from Golf 7 Oscar Charlie Kilo.
G70CK from MX0WNN. Yeah, no problem at all. The poor couriers, as I say, having dealt with some couriers in my time, you speak to the drivers, and like everything, there's good drivers and there's bad drivers. But you hear, particularly when you live out in the sticks, like you and I do there, Brian, you hear the amount of drops they're supposed to do in a day. And yeah, you do sometimes look at the map and think, you ain't got an easy job. I can understand why some of them get a bit deflated, shall we say. But I suppose, you know, we'll not dwell on the internal politics of their companies. You know, I'm sure they've got systems and procedures in place, etc. Well, I should certainly hope so. But yes, the quality of the product can sometimes get let down when you feel a bit, well, I've just spent a fortune on that item and it just hasn't arrived, or it's arrived late, or whatever. It can be a bit disenchanting, I think, is probably the technical terminology. Right then, Brian, I shall break with you, and good to hear about a Mandarin Dave and what they were doing during COVID with the home deliveries, etc. I wasn't aware of that, so big shout out and well done. Maybe more shops should do that with locals, etc. There you go. Maybe they do. I don't know. We'll soon find out. Right, Brian, I shall break with you temporarily, and we shall stay in the northeast of England, not so million miles away from you, and we shall go to Ian. That's M0RRF. Good evening, Ian. Now, I know you travel about a bit, because I see your Facebook posts like mine. So I wonder if you've observed any cultural differences, particularly in the world of retail. Over to you, sir. M0RRF from MX0WNN.
Mike 0, Romeo Fox, yep, good evening, one and all, net control and net members. No, not too much. Certainly nothing in the radio side in terms of customer service. I still haven't bought that much. Got a couple of handhelds and a couple of hotspots. Still never managed to buy a base station. And I still haven't managed to buy a proper mobile setup either. So my ham radio purchases is a bit limited. Cultural differences, every single country is different. And you mentioned faux pas earlier. Yeah, sometimes you do get it wrong. Certainly where I'm working at the moment, or where I am at the moment, down in Guyana, there is a fairly heavy tipping culture, but they get that from the US. But fundamentally, it makes up a large portion of the, particularly service personnel, restaurants and makes up a large portion of their actual income. So yeah, you don't want to make that mistake and not tip. I'm about to time out, so I will pass it back to net control. Mike 0, Romeo Fox.
MX0WNN returning. Yeah, no problem at all there, Ian. And yeah, it's interesting to see when people go places, if you do make a faux pas, etc., how the faux pas is dealt with. Whether you're taken outside and beaten up, or whether you're just maybe it's a wry look, shall we call it, and you go, oh, made a mistake there. Yeah, certain places, if you make a mistake, you don't half know about it, shall we say. Other places, they're a little more diplomatic, to put it politely. Yeah, hey, and as for buying stuff for amateur radio, well, I suppose it's the hobby that you can buy as much or as little as you want, let's be honest. You can buy, you could do all your amateur radio off a cell phone these days, couldn't you? Or a mobile phone or whatever, and using likes of Echolink and the other apps that are out there, Peanut and the likes. Or you could go the whole hog and spend a heck of a lot of money, shall we say, probably unlimited amounts of cash, if you so wish. So yeah, no problem at all. Guyana, sounds nice. Actually, a customer of ours that we've just sold to, they have a place in Guyana. I'm not going to Guyana, I've got Peru. That's where their main base is. So, interesting. Maybe you might want to tell us a bit more about Guyana. It's somewhere I've never been. Over to you, M0RRF for MX0WNN.
M0RRF returning to the group. Yeah, we should probably have a long chat about Guyana. It's certainly got some foibles, but I won't go into that tonight. I'm going to make this my last one. Just arrived back home. I've been playing Dad's Taxi, as is normal for a Wednesday night. But I've got here now, so it's nice to hear you. And hello, Brian. It's been a while. Hopefully catch up one day. I'll drop off now and wish you all 7-3s and enjoy the rest of your net. Mike 0, Romeo Fox.
MX0WNN returning. Right, yep, no problem at all. We shall try and catch up at some point, and I hear all about Guyana. As to whether to add it to the bucket list or not. I do like travelling, so you never know. Right, okay, I shall break with you. Thank you very, very much for checking in. Do appreciate it. I know, like me, you do travel, so it's not always practical to be able to get in. So thank you for being on tonight. Right, okay, next we're going to go to, well, it says Jonathan on QRZ, but I don't know whether you go by Jonathan or John, so correct me if I got it wrong. My apologies if I got it wrong. That is WA8JON in Troy, in Ohio. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. This is the Wednesday Night Net, and as I said at the start, my name is Bruce, and my normal personal call is M0UKB, but on the Wednesday Night Net, we use the club call of MX0 Wednesday Night Net. So there you go. Right, and as our first resident US citizen, you can tell us all about what's hot and what's not as such in the US, and any particular good experiences you've had in the world of amateur radio. Over to you, sir. WA8JON from MX0WNN.
Well, good evening to everybody and all my friends across the pond there in England and Ireland. WA8JON. You can call me either one, Bruce, John, or Jonathan. I'll answer it either once. Don't call me late for dinner. Had a very good experience in amateur radio. Been an amateur for about 26 years now. Especially since I found Echolink and enjoying it. Customer service has always been a very big thing with me. I've worked in customer service for about 10 years. And without the customer, you don't have a paycheck. So it's good to treat the customer very well. And as far as the FedEx drivers and couriers, I've had mixed experiences with them. I did see a FedEx driver throwing one of my packages onto the porch once. Fortunately, it was just a pair of socks, but almost still could have done a little better. WA8JON.
MX0WNN returning. Well, thank you, John, for coming back there. Do appreciate it. And yeah, you're sounding good there via the Echolink. And I'm just glad that in my line of work, particularly in my line of work, delivery drivers don't get very far chucking things. When you deal with big diggers, they weigh quite a bit. So it's always funny when they try and pick up packages and realise that it's full of metal and they can't chuck it when they want to. It's always an interesting one, that is. However, amateur radio transceivers and delicate things like that, you just got to hope that the shop has well packaged them. But no, pleasure having you on. Wonder how you found us tonight, and sounding very good there. And yeah, hey, yeah, how are you coming in? And welcome to the well, I suppose it's Wednesday afternoon with you, isn't it? We started this back in the depths of COVID, and it was the local club, and it kind of expanded. So hence the highly inventive name of the Wednesday Night Net. We couldn't really think about else, so we say. John, back to you. WA8JON from MX0WNN.
Yeah, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. I don't know how far ahead or behind you are. I'm assuming you're ahead of us several hours, but yeah. My brother-in-law does quite a lot of business. He works for LexisNexis, and he does a lot of business over in the Wales region, so they're over there quite a bit. But hopefully someday I get to visit. And thank you for letting me be a part of the net, being an outsider. WA8JON.
WA8JON from MX0WNN. Oh, don't worry, you are not an outsider, sir. You are not an outsider. Everybody is an insider on the Wednesday Night Net. We don't mind where you... But the key thing for us is we want to connect people, we want to talk. We don't mind whether you're from the US, whether you're from Australia, whether you're from the UK, what time it is, and also, most importantly, which mode you're using. We do not judge at all. You can be coming in on a cell phone, you can be coming in on HF, you can be coming in on 2 meters via a local repeater, you can be on digital, on analog. We don't mind. That's the key thing. We don't judge, if that makes sense. We just want to share our hobby. So quickly, I'll pass it back to you, and yeah, interested to hear about you and how you're getting in, because it sounded really good there on your Echolink. And how did you find us, sir? From MX0WNN. WA8JON. You still there, sir?
Oh yes, my apologies. Still a new mode for me. I'm coming in on a cell phone right now, going through an app. But really enjoying it, made some new friends and some new contacts. I'll send it back over to you, WA8JON.
MX0WNN returning. Well, no problem at all there, John. You enjoy using that, as I say. We don't grumble as to how people are coming in. So long as it's legal, that's all we care about. As long as it's legal and we all have fun, then keep on doing it and keep on pushing the boundaries of technology and your enjoyment. So don't worry at all. And we're here every week. So I've just done the mathematics. I believe 2:30 in the afternoon with you on a Wednesday. Or 7:30 p.m. UK time, whatever that translates to. For anybody else out there that's listening, wondering what on earth is all this they're all yabbering on about, because it's not an afternoon, it's not the evening with me. So yeah, 7:30 p.m. UK time, translate it to where you are, and however you're listening now and hearing us, that's how you can get in. But no, welcome to the Wednesday Night Net. Enjoy yourself, and yeah, feel free to stick around. Okay, John, I'll pass on from you if that's all right. It does put us at the bottom of the list. And I know I can see people on the blue screen are queuing up there by the looks of it. So we shall take another round of check-ins. Okay, this is MX0WNN. Looking for any more check-ins, please. Please come now.
Mike 7, Bravo, Yankee Delta. Mike 7, Bravo, Yankee Delta. That's Keith here in Meadowfield.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Alpha India Zulu, WB4AIZ, Chuck in Florida. Over.
Okay, good evening, folks. Right, I got WB4 AIZ, Chuck out there in Florida. Good evening, or good afternoon, Chuck. And I got M7BYD. That was Keith, who felt like he was sat in the room next to me. Beautiful signal there from you, Keith. That's Keith in Meadowfield in County Durham. So, Keith, it's over to you first. How are you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well. And, yeah, go on. Tell us about any particular good service you've received off emporiums or individuals or anything like that, to be honest. Yeah, over to you from MX0WNN.
MX0WNN, this is M7BYD. Well, thank you for the compliment on the audio. I appreciate that, Bruce. And a very good evening to everyone on the net so far and listening with interest. Everybody has got different experiences. From my own point of view, I've only got 4 radios, and of the 4 that I got, I didn't actually have any interaction that led me to experience extra service, if you will. I didn't actually speak with anyone apart from one radio, but unfortunately that one went pear-shaped because it was an overpromise and an under-deliver. So as far as customer service was concerned, it was from a genuine retailer who actually accepted the order without actually being able to procure the radio I was looking toward, and at the price as well. So that was something of a disappointment. But I got the radio I wanted in the end anyway. Yeah, there's a couple of other instances that I'll sort of mention, if you don't mind, if you give me another over, Bruce. Back to you. MX0 Wednesday Night Net from M7BYD.
M7BYD from MX0WNN. Well, I suppose, Keith, you've not mentioned anything potentially I was going to say contagious, that's the wrong word. You've not upset the apple cart, shall we say. So we will give you a second over. But I tell you what, Keith, you've hit on something. contentious, that was the word I was going to use. But you've hit on something that I was going to say, and it's my absolute pet peeve in retail. Oh my goodness. It boils my what's-it. It grinds my gears, or any of the other words and phrases you wish to use. It's when people say that they've got something in stock and they don't. Oh my word, that really, really, really winds me up. I absolutely hate it. I have no problem of knowing that this item that I can see on a website or a catalogue or whatever is to order in. Therefore, you will expect it will take a little bit longer to come because it's either coming direct from the manufacturer, or you're having to wait for it to be built, or it's on back order or something like that. But when somebody says it's in stock and it ships next day, and then it doesn't flaming ship next day, oh Keith, oh my word, you know me, it winds me up. It absolutely does. I have no problem whatsoever waiting for stuff. Just be honest. Honesty is the name of the game. Right, Keith, that's my little rant over. Back to you, sir. M7BYD from MX0WNN.
MX0 Wednesday Night Net, M7BYD, returning. Well, I'm actually known for my patience, shall we say. I'm a very patient chap. But I obviously, just the same as just about everyone else, has got a point by which I'll think, well, there's something not quite right here. So I phone up and then I'm actually fobbed off yet again. I was actually fobbed off twice before finally admitting that it was having great difficulty. And so the money was refunded. During that time, the person concerned, depending upon how many times that happened, had got my money in their bank. So the interest on it all, if you add it all up, it doesn't take much to do that, commercially speaking, and then you end up obviously having a fair bit, as you might imagine. So I can understand what you're saying, Bruce. I'll just take a pause. M7BYD continuing. It isn't the most pleasant of experiences, but of the three radios, I've got, as I say, I have the 4 now. It only happened to me once, but that is 25%. not quite so good. What I can say is I'll go within topic but off topic, and that is I think you will know, and certain other people who know me know that I work within one of the biggest retailers that we have in the UK of electrical and electrical appliances and such like. And during that time, I actually have to offer customer service, and I am quite prepared to go the extra mile because I am a customer, and I've always thought that way. But what I do know is, you mentioned washing machines and tumble dryers and such like, and there are quite a number of key staff and members of this particular retailer who have had, they're not allowed to accept monetary favours. That's an absolute no-no. But they can, if the customer so wishes, receive kind gifts such as things like flowers, chocolates and such like. So to see them arrive in store because customers have been very satisfied with the way that they have been treated is heartwarming, and long may that continue. But that's all dependent upon the service that the customer has received. That's why this is such a good topic, Bruce, because we're all affected one way or another by the service that we receive, both in amateur radio and in our daily lives. Thanks again, Bruce, for inviting me in, and I look forward to everyone else who will be checking in after me as well. So back to you, and thanks again, Bruce. Take care. M0 Wednesday Night Net, this is M7BYD.
MX0WNN returning. Ah, Keith, yes. The what is allowable in the terms of one's employment, shall we say, in terms of gifts, etc., in terms of accepting them. Yes, I have a wife who is a teacher, so I'm fully aware of what can and cannot be accepted, and having to delicately either accept if it's unacceptable, or say, I'm very sorry, I'd love to, but I can't, shall we say, and suggest a different home for some things occasionally. I'm a bit old school. I was always brought up, probably by my grandfather, that in the English culture, or the British culture, shall we say, that tipping was to recognise when somebody has gone above and beyond in terms of, particularly in a customer service role, which I am as well, is to go above and beyond and, do something particularly useful. And it doesn't have to just relate to waiting staff or bar staff or restaurant staff, etc. It could be in anything. It could be somebody it's chucking it down with rain and they've gone and got your groceries into the car, or whatever it might be, or in your line of work, they helped you out because something's heavy and they've gone and got it sorted, or whatever, or taken the time to really explain the features and what then, because you're swithering between two models, etc. That's always something that, it's always interesting. I have to admit, I have been the recipient of some bad service over the years, not in amateur radio, I have to admit, where I have to admit somebody sat there expecting a tip. Should we say, to be polite, I have given them a tip. It was not of the monetary variety, it was of the advice variety of how they could maybe have done it better and maybe not wound me up so much, Keith. So I did give them a tip, just not the tip they wanted. Keith, back to you one more time before I move on across the pond. M7BYD from MX0WNN.
MX0 Wednesday night net M7BYD, and I like that. A tip by way of advice. That's a good one. That's a good way of turning it round totally on its head, if you will. I'm quite impressed. I might, if necessary, use that one myself to avoid any sort of I wouldn't say embarrassment. I don't mind sharing my feelings if something isn't quite right, but I'm reluctant to do so. But every so often you have to do, and it may not necessarily be by way of a tip. So, as an example, if I've done something that's been quite acceptable to people who I speak with, the very fact that they ask of my name and are prepared to share with the management of the particular store in which I work as an outsider, I have to say, then that's quite delightful. I find that sort of thing uplifting. It doesn't have to be of monetary value. It means something if somebody's gone out of their way to ask about myself in one way or another. And I think that would apply to a lot of other people as well, because we all need that side of things for quality of life. Thanks so much for coming back to me again. I appreciate it, Bruce. And once again, looking forward to hearing the remainder of the net. Back to you, Bruce. MX0 Wednesday Night Net from M7BYD.
MX0WNN returning. Yeah, no problem at all, Keith. And as I say, that one was courtesy of grandfather and father. That one. Yeah, I'll give you a tip. Here's some advice. I remember the first time it was used. The person receiving the tip was definitely not expecting what they got. I think they thought all their Christmases had come at once and they were going to get some cash. When they actually got, shall we say, a lesson in life awarded to them as to how, I suppose, maybe they've got some more financial tips afterwards, shall we say. I don't know. It was always an interesting one. Right, okay, Keith. Pleasure having you on, as ever. But now we are going to move on down the list and across the pond. We're going to Florida feels like flaming Florida in my shack tonight. It's a bit warm and a bit sticky. So I hope you're doing better than I am. That's Chuck out there in Florida. That's WB4AIZ. I hope you're doing well there, Chuck. Welcome to the Wednesday night net, or I suppose it's Wednesday afternoon net for you. Just wondering how you found us as well. My name's Bruce, as you've probably heard. Normal call is M0UKB, but for the net on the Wednesday, I use the club call of MX0 Wednesday night net. So, Chuck, it's over to you from MX0WNN.
Alrighty. Oh, that's cute. I was wondering about that. And I just, well, alrighty. Very good. Not a whole lot going on here. I'm in assisted living facility here in west coast of Florida, near St. Petersburg. And so I don't have ability to put up a antenna or a mobile radio or stuff like that. So Echo Link is my gateway to the world. And the local club, St. Pete Amateur Radio Club, they call me the net hopper because I'm all, I'm all over the net, I don't make all nets, but, but I have a good time, and especially when I'm, when it's a little bit different. I mean, like over the pond, and let's see, what was it, the other, and I can get on 220 through a link, and I can get on 2 meter sideband through another link, and that's what I get a kick out of. So, anyways, everyone take care. Don't have a whole lot. So it's warm, very warm. Haven't seen any rain today. Everyone take care. WB4AIZ.
WB4AIZ from MX0WNN. Don't worry, Chuck. You're always welcome on here, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'll let you into a little secret. We've got a couple of interesting links connected here. We've got a 10 meter FM gateway, so you're currently coming out via 10 meters on FM. So there's a fun one for you. There's some 6 meter stuff that's connected, 4 meter stuff. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces, and we don't mind whether you're coming in via Echolink, an app on the phone, HF, whatever. You can come in via whatever you want, so long as it's legal and you're having fun. That's the most important thing. I wanted to take part in a competition, not to do with amateur radio, and the bottom of the sheet said, competitors will be disqualified if they are seen to be not having fun. So I'm hoping that you're having fun. That's the most important thing to us. You're more than welcome. I'll pass it back to you one more time, and hopefully you're having fun and we're not going to have to disqualify you there, Chuck. Over to you, WB4AIZ from MX0WNN.
All right, WB4AIZ. Oh, I'm having a ball. I'm enjoying my, my Echolink. So I guess I can stay. And by the way, I did catch you on the AIM window, this program I have on my Android called NetLogger Companion, it lets me use the AIM window. And so I said, oh, okay. Anything that's 2 meter related, or I even asked them sometimes, do you have Echolink? So sometimes yes, sometimes no. Darn it. But I have fun. That's all. That's my middle name, F for fun. Actually Frederick, but and food. So very good. Thank you for the invite and all that good stuff. So WB4AIZ 673s. WB4AIZ.
MX0WNN returning. Hey, no problem at all, Chuck. Glad you are having fun. I would hate to have to disqualify anybody for not having fun. Keith, I've just seen your comment. You are not disqualified. You sound like you're having far too much fun, and we've got to keep you here to keep the fun going as well. Right, okay. No, not a problem. Keep checking in there, Chuck. Loads more nets and bits and pieces, and they all accept Echolink. So don't worry about that. It's not a problem whatsoever. Right, okay, we'll break with you, Chuck, if that's all right, and we shall go and see if we've got anybody else that wishes to have some fun with us. So this is MX0WNN, looking for people that wish to check in and have some fun on our net. If so, please come now.
Mobile. Whiskey 1, Sierra Bravo Whiskey, mobile.
Echo 1, Golf Foxtrot Lima. 1, Hotel Dennis alternate.
At control, please check in. QO Bravo 1, Uniform Papa Zulu. That's QO Bravo 1, Uniform Papa Zulu. Bob, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay, this is MX0WNN welcoming 3 fine stations who all sound like they're going to have some fun. So that's alright, they're acceptable on the net. If you're having fun, we're going to let you in. We have KB1UPZ, that's Uncle Bob up there in Springfield. Good evening, good afternoon, Uncle Bob, to you. Good evening from me. We've got 2E1GFL Alternative. That's Captain Pugwash, also known as Dennis, who's definitely having some fun out there on the boat. And we've got W1SBW, a fine fun operator. That's Scott out there mobile in Vermont. I'm guessing, Scott, or are you elsewhere since you're mobile? Scott, it's over to you. W1SBW from MX0WNN, who is having fun, by the way, folks.
MX0WNN from Whiskey 1, Sierra Bravo Whiskey. I'm mobile. I'm in town. I put the Sherry note into my truck, and I'm coming to you through that RF. Just on my way home from work. Glad I was able to catch you guys. I haven't been able to catch up to you. I've been busy, and every time I turn around, the net's been on, and you guys have been on and gone, and I haven't had a chance. So I'm glad I at least had a chance to check in. Not a whole lot going on as far as amateur radio stuff. Still trying to get that stuff set up at the school like I spoke to you about before, but we'll get there. Over to you.
W1SBW from MX0WNN. Hey, Scott, no problem at all. I understand it. I'm always the same. You know, you go, I'm going to check into that net and I'm going to speak to so-and-so, and you look at the time and go, oh my goodness, it's finished, or they've gone, or whatever it is, or with time difference and one thing or another. So totally understand. Hey, don't worry about it at all. And sounding good through the shower, you know, sounding really good. And hey, fair play to you for trying to sort that out with the school. And I know these things, they don't just happen overnight. They take a bit of time. So now, Key question, Scott, are you having fun or am I going to have to disqualify you? There's the question. W1SBW from MX0WNN.
MX0WNN from Whiskey 1 Sierra Bravo Whiskey. Anytime I have a radio in my hand or I'm doing anything with amateur radio, I'm having fun. I don't know as I've never had fun. Sometimes you get a little frustrated working on some stuff, but it's having fun. That's the name of the hobby. You got to have fun. If you're not having fun, then you might want to look for something else. Back to you.
W1SBW from MX0WN. I know what you mean. When it stops becoming fun, yeah, consider the other alternatives, I think is the phrase, shall we say. Yeah, there's various bits about that to do with gambling in the UK, about, you know, when the fun stops, stop and all that sort of carry on, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm not saying that amateur radio is like gambling, of course. Well, mine, there's times when it could be, I suppose, as well. But yeah, hey, as I say, you're sounding good, and I'm glad you managed to make it in, and hey, you're on your way home from work. That's even better. I'll let you into a secret. I've been home from work for a few hours. It just gets better the longer you're at home, but unfortunately, you've got to go back there in the morning, Scott. So, yeah. With that, I'll pass it back around to you one more time, and I hope I haven't scared you off with the concept of having to go back to work in the morning. W1SBW from MX0WNN.
W1SBW returning. No, you didn't scare me off. We got 2 more days and we get the weekend. We'll be all good. But, yeah, I'll say 73. I'm going to say hello to everybody on the net. And have a good net, Bruce, and we'll catch up to you later. 73.
MX0WNN returning. Yeah, no problem at all there, Scott. And yeah, we're almost at the weekend. We're getting to touching distance. Even better. Sounds fantastic. You take care, Scott. Enjoy yourself, and I'm sure we'll catch up shortly. Okay, that does put me down with all that hilarity. We're going down to Dennis. Dennis, I'm hoping that you're above the waterline and that all is good with you. That's 2E1 GFL. Over to you, sir.
One GFL. Cool. Well, actually, I've had good fun in the last half hour, and I'm still chuckling about it. I was just getting down for the net when I got a phone call. A lad that's mowed just downriver from me, who'd run out of petrol, asking me if I had any. Oh, I've just been a mile upriver and took one of my tanks. I'd just filled both of my tanks, so I took one of my tanks off and recycled it into his. So I was chuckling all the way upriver. It's an excuse to take the mick out of him for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And back round to you, Bruce, from 2E1 GFL.
2E1 GFL from MX0WNN. No problem at all there, Dennis. You wouldn't take the mick out of somebody, would you, Dennis? I can't imagine somebody like you doing that. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. I've got to be nice to you because you've got my boat anchor in the back of your car. Yeah, I hope you've not been pulling a wheelie all day with it. Hi. Yeah, what a nice night to be out on the river, I have to admit. If it's anything like it is up here, Dennis, it's blue skies with some ever so light wispy cloud way up high in the sky, and it's lovely and sunny and absolutely blissful. I couldn't think of a better place to be perfectly honest. I suspect, I'm guessing you're down on the Ouse. It's going to be rather pleasant, shall we say. And I hope you've got a beverage in hand or something of that nature, Dennis. Back to you from MX0WNN.
Well, Bruce, you must be psychic. I've got a nice, well, glass in front of me, and they passed me a good can of 1664 when I returned. So, and it's going down nice. And I'm sitting in a pair of shorts and t-shirt, got chucked off first thing this morning. And it's been lovely. Oh, it was foggy this morning down here on the river. It was proper foggy till about 8 o'clock, and then it cleared. So, yes, can't complain about the weather at all. I'll just take a pip. I will be back home on Monday, I believe. So, if you're coming down to the club next Thursday, because it won't be used as a polling station, I think the polls are on Wednesday as far as I can think, if I'm not wrong with my dates. So, I can bring it up to the club next Thursday evening.
Dennis, don't bring it to the club on a Thursday, because I believe that Thursday is the 4th. It is the magic day. So I suspect it may be being used as an alternative location, shall we be honest, Dennis. And I would hate for you to have to lift that in and out of the car too many times. And good to hear that the top got removed. You were doing the full Monty next. We don't want to hear about that, thank you very much. I'm glad to hear you have got a beverage of one variety or another. We don't want you suffering from dehydration or anything like that, Dennis. From MX0WNN.
Yeah, no problem. As I say, I was just sitting thinking this morning what the date is. To be honest, I had to look at my watch to see what the date was today. As you know, we've been away for 6 days, so it's been sort of eating, drinking, and sleeping for the last 6 days. So I thought it was the Thursday, and Mary said no, Wednesday will be the 4th. But there you go. I'm going to have to alter my other plans because it's our wedding anniversary on the 2nd of July. So I was working that out to Monday. Never mind. We get that way. Obviously having fun, Bruce. Back from you, net control. 21 GFL.
One GFL from MX0WNN, and because I'm going to go to Uncle Bob next, I can get away with saying this. Dennis, it's because you're not doing any work. That's what it is, that 4-letter word. You forget which day is which. But yes, don't get caught out by getting the wrong day for your wedding anniversary. That would not be a good idea. Mary would probably, quite rightly, give you a scud to the back of the head or something similar, shall we say. So, Dennis, go and sort the diary malfunction out. Do some work, my man. Right, no problem. Dennis, I shall communicate with you later. You take care. Have a chuckle. I'm glad you're having fun. I'd hate to have to disqualify you. Right, okay. I'll break with you, Dennis. And we shall go to somebody who's definitely having some fun. That's Uncle Bob. As we know, that's KB1UPZ. Chairman-in-Chief, Commander-in-Chief, head man, big boss of the IRN. There you go, Bob. You had a shout out there, and I waved as I came back up over you the other night, but it was a bit sleepy time. I flew at after 11, and it was ready for my bedtime. I was tired, Bob, so I was waving as I did on the way back out. Oh my goodness, that's somebody ringing me for work. This is not good. This is not good. Right, okay. I shall break with my hilarity and pass it across to you, Uncle Bob. KB1UPZ from MX0WNN.
KB1UPG returning. Good evening, Bruce. It's good to hear you. Yeah, it's been a really hard day right now. I was working on the radio, and I'm having a little bit of issues getting something fixed on it. And I've been working on it for 3 hours. So I happened to click on a video that came up, and I said, well, there's Bruce, and it's the net on YouTube. So that's why I decided to come in and say hello, Bruce.
MX0WNN returning. Ah, yes. We are going out via YouTube. I've got to blame our Gareth for that. He loves doing his technological stuff, and it means people can listen along at home, or they can replay it afterwards, or do all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, there you go. It's a bit of fun, and hopefully my ugly mug, as they say, didn't scare you off there, Uncle Bob. Over to you, KB1UPZ from MX0WNN.
KB1UPG returning once again. Well, let me tell you, Bruce, I was having such a bad time working on that radio. When I hit the video, and I heard you say something about fun, and I can see the net being populated, through the YouTube there. Then all of a sudden it came down to me, and you gave me a shout. At the time I was working on the radio, I wasn't having any fun. But I'll tell you, I'm having fun now, just listening to your voice and your net. But it just makes me key up my, Enrico T320, and I'm on TeamSpeak, and I figured I'd give you a shout and have a little bit of fun, because I wasn't having none at all. Back over to you. This is KB1UPG.
Uncle Bob, you're too kind, and joining in with all the fun and hilarity there. So, no, it's what it's all about. I thought, you know what, let's just have something of an enjoyable evening of what I would call banter, or crack, as we call it up here, yeah, let's not get too serious, let's have some fun, and, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, sometimes life can get a little bit serious. You know what, the sun's out, maybe it's the sun and the heat's gone to my head, and we're all having a bit of fun, but that's what it's all about. We're all wanting to be friends and do nice stuff, so why not, let's have a bit of banter. Back to you, Uncle Bob, one more time before I see if there's any other fun-loving people, or fun-loving creatures, hanging around outside that want to join in. KB1UPZ from MX0WNN.
KB1UPG returning once again. Well, I'll tell you, Bruce, I was really having a difficult time. And then when I found the video, I says, I got to get there and have me some fun. And you know something, after I started listening to the net and watch it being populated on YouTube, that was really cool. So I said, hey, I'm going to have some of that fun. So I think I'm going to check in. You have a good evening, Bruce. It's good to hear you. Last time I talked to you, you were flying over my house. I hope you got to where you were safely. Obviously you did, and I'm glad you made it back home. Back over to that control. This is KB1UPZ. Thanks, Bruce.
KB1UPZ from MX0WNN. Hey Bob, I saw you running around the garden in the Hawaiian skirt and all sorts. I know what you get up to now out there in Springfield. Yeah, no, got there safe and ended up stopping a whole extra week as well, because we liked it so much, and they needed some extra assistance out there. So there you go. It's like a second home to me now, I have to admit, Uncle Bob, but I will be going back to your fine country a couple more times in the next few months. So yeah, but unfortunately not in Massachusetts yet. I keep trying, so at some point paths may cross. Right then, Bob, you go enjoy yourself, have some fun, or some more fun, and we'll need to put you and Gareth in touch to be able to have complete and utter fun and chaos, shall we say. Right, no problem at all. that does put us at the bottom of the list. We'll say 7-3 to our fun-loving friend Uncle Bob, and see if there's anybody else out there that would like to join in and say hello. This is MX0WNN, looking for any more fun-loving people, please.
Bruce, just a quick hello from me, MX0WNN Mobile. Just thought I'd say a quick hello. I'm not, I don't know what your topic is or anything, but there is none from me, I'm afraid. It's just a hello and goodbye. I hope that's okay. MX0WNN Mobile.
MM0TMG/mobile from MX0WNN. Hello, Kev. Pleasure to have you on. Appreciate you dropping in. Not really got a particular topic tonight. We're just having a bit of fun, shall we say. The sun's gone to me head, shall we say, this orange ball in the sky above Northumberland, which I hope is also near where you are as well there, Kev. I hope it's bringing out the joyfulness in us all, if that makes sense. So I'll pass it back to you quickly, because I know you can't hold it, and hello from MX0WNN. Back to you, Kev.
From MM0TMG/mobile. Yeah, okay, Bruce, all good. I am out with the Wonder Dog. Me and the Wonder Dog are out. So she's out doing her stuff, and that's me just kind of. And that'll be me for the evening. Today hasn't been so great for weather here. Don't think it's rained, but we've had cloudy skies most of the day and a fair bit of wind really now, but it's still saying it's something like 15 degrees, which isn't bad, I suppose, for Scotland at this time of night. Anyway, Bruce, put it back to you and say 7-3 and wish you all the best. We'll catch you further down. MM0TMG Mobile.
MM0TMG from MX0WNN. Yeah, no problem at all, Kev. 15 degrees at this time of night up in Scotland, or anywhere north of Watford Gap, is pretty good, I have to admit. And want to make you chuckle there, Kev. I was greeted by the Amazon driver today who came to deliver a parcel, and he was a ginger gentleman, and he had a sense of humour. And he turned round and he said, "It's too something hot for us today." And I said, "Why is that?" He says, "Gingers shouldn't be out in this sort of temperature. We fry." That was his that was his take on the temperature down here. I pitied him being sat behind the glass of his van driving round. I don't think he had air conditioning. Poor guy. I really did. I did feel for him, I have to admit. So, but I suppose we can't grumble, can we, Kev? Because it's either too hot, it's too cold, or something or other. Us Brits, we don't like weather, do we? Let's be honest. Back around to you for anything else you want to say before you knock off. And really pleasure to have you on, Kev. Do appreciate it. From MX0WNN.
Yeah, no, all good. Just we hit the homeward trail now, so I'll wish you all a good evening, and we'll catch you another time, Bruce. Good to hear the net's still going. MM0TMG Mobile.
MX0WNN returning. Yep, net's still going. I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I've been absent, but Gareth's been filling the chair for us, thankfully. You sound good. Take care of yourself, and my best to Oliver as well. Go and hit the homeward trail and put your feet up there, Kev. No, appreciate you coming in, really do. And I'll try my best to get in. Saturdays are often a bit of an interesting one. I'll not be in this week, Kev. Nothing personal. I've got a load of family stuff on in the evening, so I've got to try and deal with that. Right, no problem. You take care. Enjoy yourself. 7-3. And that does put us at the bottom of the list. Is there anybody else that would like to check in? If so, you know what to do. Please come now.
Uniform Alpha. This is Echo 3, Oscar, Uniform Alpha, Rudy of Toronto, Canada. Go ahead.
Okay, the station that just came in, I didn't get the call very well. Was it Kilo Oscar 3? I'm not sure. The station that just came in with a 3 in it. Go ahead again, please.
No problem, sir. No problem. Victor, Echo 3, Oscar, Uniform, Alpha. Victor, Echo 3, Oscar, Uniform, Alpha. The name is Rudy. Please go ahead, sir. Rudy, Rudy, Rudy.
Okay, I believe the call is Victor Echo 3, Oscar Uniform Alpha. I'm hoping I've got that correct. Hello and welcome to you, sir, all the way from out there in Scarborough, Ontario. I know where that is. I've been there for work, and a very lovely place that it is, sir. So, yeah, we're all just having a little bit of a rag chew tonight about having fun, enjoying ourselves. The sun's out here in the UK. It's probably gone to our heads a little bit because we're not used to it. So, you know what? I hope you're having fun over there in Ontario. Over to you, VE3OUA from MX0WNN.
MX0WNN, I think you said. One thing I have missed is what shall I call you? The net control station. Thank you very much for welcoming me. Well, I think we've got it all wrong. Very here in Toronto. What are the sun? But you is that.
Victor Echo 3, Oscar Uniform Alpha. This is MX0WNN. Sorry, remiss of me, the name is Bruce. That's Bravo, Romeo, Uniform Charlie Echo. Located up in the northeast of England near the fine city of Newcastle upon Tyne. Yep. And we're just discussing having fun and does our hobby bring us fun? And yeah, we hope we're all having fun. So over to you from MX0WNN.
I think that's the way it should be. Enjoy every moment. Any moment that's forever. I wish it was like take care of yourself. All the best.
MX0WNN. Return, yet no problem at all. I hope you're, well, I understand you are having fun, so take care of yourselves, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully we'll hear from you shortly. Okay, this is MX0WNN, Master of Ceremonies for tonight in our fun-packed Wednesday night net of just having a bit of a blether, bit of banter, a bit of crack, call it what you wish. I have had an online check-in from War Gareth. That's G0WR. So Gareth, it's over to you. G0WR from MX0WNN.
MX0WNN from G0WUR, giving it a bit of RF tonight via the gateway. Yeah, Bruce, just wanted to say a quick hello. Obviously, welcome back, being in the UK again, and it's been lovely having you back at the helm of the Wednesday night net this evening. Yeah, lots of fun to be had in this hobby, isn't it? And yeah, definitely having some fun at the moment. Shouting at the SD card that failed on the repeater. But no, having fun with all the different technology and stuff in the hobby, and can't complain at all. It's good stuff. But there we go. Right, I'll pass it back to you, as I can't stick around, unfortunately, this evening, but it's been lovely listening to the net. MX0WNN from G0WUR.
G0WR from MX0WNN. Oh, I know. I hope it wasn't too much of a crouton, as we were joking last night, and that it is salvageable. Gareth, glad to have you on, and thank you for being of assistance while I was away and keeping the good ship going and all that sort of good stuff. So I do appreciate it. Otherwise, I'd be a bit stuffed, because I definitely wasn't in ability to run net at normal net time, let's call it, last couple of weeks. So thank you, Gareth. I'll pass it round to you one more time for any closing thoughts from MX0WNN.
Yeah, from G0WUR. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like that particular micro SD card is somewhat toasted. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. I know we've had a bit of, should we say, lumpy electricity recently, so I'm wondering if it's just a case of I've been staggeringly unlucky. But hey, these things can be sorted. Fortunately, I'd only finished tinkering around with some of the config files on the repeater about 2 days before it happened. So I conveniently had taken a full backup of the config. So once I get it back in there tonight, it should restore and come back online. So there we go. That's a good thing. But yeah, no, it's all good fun. But yeah, great having you back, buddy, and looking forward to some of the upcoming activity that we're going to be doing. I need to have a word with you about that, but I'll give you a ring at a different time on that one. All the best. Greetings to everybody, and greetings to everyone on net this evening. From G0WUR.
MX0WNN returning. Yep, no problem at all, Gareth. Glad you're having fun, in inverted commas, and I'm glad you took that backup when you did. It certainly makes life a little bit easier. Right, no problem. You enjoy yourself. Yep, give us a call whenever, and yeah, we can catch up and have some, make some more fun, let's call it. Ooh, I have an idea, if you know what I mean. Right, no problem at all. Gareth knows what that means. More fun involved. Right, that does put us at the bottom of the list. If there is anybody else that would like to join in, now would be a good time. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go and do some work. MX0WNN is looking for any final check-ins. Please come now. Okay, nothing heard, in which case I think we have exhausted our list of fun tonight, which has been rather fun. I would like to say a big thank you to everybody who has taken part, everybody who's connected, everybody's all the networks, all the repeaters, all the gateways, etc. You all know who you are and all the people that make this happen, and also all of you guys for calling in, because without you folks, there wouldn't be a net. So thank you to all of you. Okay, at this point, I shall hang up the club call sign of MX0WNN, and I shall revert to my personal call of M0UKB. I'll just take a pause. M0UKB returning. Right, well thank you everybody, and the good news is we have not had to disqualify anybody for not having fun tonight. We've all enjoyed everything, and well, thank you Keith, I do appreciate the message you've just sent, big thumbs up. Yep, Uncle Keith out there. So thank you everybody, thanks for taking part. I am going to have to cut this relatively fine because I need to go and do some work, because as some of you heard, the phone rang midway through and it was the work, so I must go and deal with. Okay everybody, take care, enjoy your amateur radio, enjoy the good weather, enjoy the people you're with, and have fun. Thank you everybody, take care, 7-3, this has been M0UKB, who is now going off and clear. Take care everybody.
Right now, very well. Victor Echo 3 Whiskey Delta Echo. Victor Echo 3 Whiskey Delta Echo. Monitor. Alright. How are you? Not bad, ready?